Check this out, y'all. Live and direct.
From the Whiskey 61 Lounge, it's Mississippi's only food sports show on the airwaves. We're the only World Food Championship host in the state. This is the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds.
All right, I'll be at Bulldog Burger around noon today. And because I can't go tonight. I already had something before Jordan hit me from Bulldog Burger, and this whole Fertile Ground deal went down with the Tap Takeover. But I'll be at Bulldog Burger in Ridgeland at noon. And Blake, you said you're going to go too. Well, you have to. And so burger, onion rings, and a I may not say this right. Matty J can correct me. Mismo Mexican lager from Fertile Ground. But I got to tell y'all what's going on today. It is a Fertile Ground takeover at Bulldog Burger in Ridgeland. And here are the beers. Contours of Light Cherry Sour, Fertile Ground Pilsner, Mismo Mexican lager, which is probably my favorite to date, as I've told Matty J and Aaron and William. And then this is a new one that they just rolled out. Forgotten Space IPA. Want to say good morning, welcome in. And Matt Jeffries, Matty J with Fertile Ground Brewery in Bellhaven and their amazing tap room is joining us right now. And you can watch it on YouTube live. Search Out of Bounds Sports on YouTube. Matty J, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Good morning. I'm well. Thanks for having me again. Always love coming here. You feed us. You got cold beer on tap.
Man. Well, your guys are so talented that
they
brew
are.
all this beer.
I'm nobody without these guys. We're nobody without these guys.
It's the same thing. I'm out front, but it's the guys like Blake and William and Aaron that make it happen.
Well, they definitely make it happen. I mean, if we don't have good beer, we're not. What are we even talking about?
Right.
There's nothing to talk about at that point.
I think they were excited when I told them we had Fertile Ground Oktoberfest. I don't know how much left in the keg, but we all got a glass or a cup, whatever, this morning. And we were talking about their beards earlier.
They're fantastic, aren't they? They're magnificent.
Yeah, they are magnificent.
It's like a magical creature. It's just the beards. I mean, they're magnificent people on their own, but their beards have their own personalities and, just unique. And you should feel them. They're soft. They're conditioned.
How long, Matty J? How long have you three known each other?
Aaron and I have known each other several years now, just going back to love of beer and getting to know each other through he's been brewing for a long time. And so obviously he was a lot closer geographically. William and I started our courtship, and that's literally what it was, over the phone about 2 years ago. My wife was asking me, she goes, who are you talking to for 2 hours at a time? And, my first answer at one point was like, Jake from State Farm. And she goes, what's he wearing? I said, khakis. So anyways, William got to know each other over the phone. We finally convinced him to come on board and got him over here. And then we said, okay, before you say yes, we got to get your wife over here. And they have a young son, almost 3. That's so, important. Mama's got to be happy.
Sure.
And anyways, and then we knew we were going to have somebody else with William, and I couldn't think of anybody else other than Aaron. And I said, you got to start with this guy. And they got real close. The beards touched each other. It was kind of like Velcro. We had to pull them apart. But William, he's svelte on his beard right now. He knocked it down a little bit.
These guys are like Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. I mean, that's the team that you got.
It's fantastic.
It's like Shaq and Kobe.
It's like Joe Montana and Jerry Rice if they found a Golden Corral buffet instead of a football field.
Yeah. We said earlier this morning, Matty J, we're visiting with Matt Jeffries, Fertile Ground Brewery in the house. They're taking over the taps at Bulldog Burger today, 5 to 8 p. And they're going to have a blast, giveaways, all kinds of fun.
It'll be good stuff.
We said that the way I described Aaron and William was they brew beer, but it also looks like they've got a set of dumbbells in the back, and they only do curls.
Curls with kegs.
Right, curls. That's what Blake said.
Curls with kegs. Country strong, baby.
That's exactly what we said. That's great. I wouldn't get in a fight with either one of them. But
well, again, I guess being out front, you can talk all the smack. They're behind you. That's right.
How you been?
I'm well, thanks, man. Things have been going great. we're just super excited. Every day is a new day. We just bought 900 more kegs. We're about to hit the gas with Brian and the folks over at Capital City.
Wow.
So Forgotten Space, you mentioned that earlier. It's not a new beer to us. It's new to the market. We've only launched about 4 beers into that, but Forgotten Space is one of our core 4. It's a Grateful Dead lyric reference.
Right.
I'm sure you picked up on that. Yeah. But yeah, so we're excited. Bulldog Burger, they're gonna have they're the first one to have it this week tonight. So it's exciting.
They're fired up about it.
Dude, Ian's awesome, man.
Yeah.
We met and kind of hit it off. We had several beers, and you were talking about tequila earlier. I think we took a shot of tequila with them when we actually walked into the bar.
We'll have to do that. Ian, I knew Ian from the guest room in the Speakeasy in Starkville.
Oh, he's a good dude. He's awesome.
10, 12 years ago. And then Bulldog Burger tapped him to come down here and help run the Ridgeland location. So
from first meeting, I mean, it was like we knew each other forever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just one of those guys, and he's like, man, we need to get you guys in for a Tap Takeover. I said, we've already got 2 on tap. I said, how many more? Can we put them all up?
Yeah.
He said, we'll start with 4. I said, that's great.
Well, I want you to go down the list here of the beers. All right, so let's just start with because, everybody's palate's different.
Sure.
And if people are going to come out, which we want them to Bulldog Burger this afternoon from 5 to 8, some may try 2 or 3. Some may just go with 1. Let's start with the Contours of Light Sherry Sour.
Sure.
Cherry Sour, sorry.
Well, we may do a sherry sour. I don't know that William, he likes doing weird things, but they always tend to work out. But so the Contours of Light, that's just our base Berliner Weiss series. That is just a tart, traditional German style beer. The fruit rotates with that beer probably, I would say, once a month. We try to do a batch of that. We've done a blueberry batch of that. We've done a cherry batch of that. We've prickly pear. Was that the base? The Berliner, the small batch, prickly pear. We've done a couple others. I think watermelon and
watermelon. That's what I'm talking
it was
about.
awesome. It was awesome. We got a tangerine cranberry on deck. That'll be the next one in the series. So yeah, it's just a nice light tart beer. Sour's a key word, just like sweet. I don't like throwing those words around because people's connotation of that. Your interpretation of sweet may be entirely different than mine.
Absolutely.
So I try to stay away from sour, even though sour beers have kind of taken just land speed records here. It seems like in Mississippi because it's so damn hot.
Right.
But it's a great, refreshing beer, especially if you got some spice or you got a nice heavy burger, something like that. It's one to kind of wipe that palate clean, get you ready for the next bite.
All right. So Matty J, Matt Jeffries with us in studio. You can watch the show right now. Go to YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. And we're talking about the Fertile Ground Brewery in Belhaven. Their tap room's amazing. But there is a tap takeover today at Bulldog Burger in Ridgeland. And we're fired up about it. So are some of our listeners texting in. Now let's go to Matty J. Let's go Fertile Ground Pilsner.
So Fertile Ground Pilsner is William's baby, hands down.
Okay.
If William could drink one beer for the rest of his life, it would be Pilsner. That is not an exaggeration. And anyways, I'll save you the rest of the details, but he can give you an in-depth opinion on that after the show. It's just a crisp Northern German style Pilsner. It's got some assertive bitterness on the back end, but not offensive. I think it's just something that people here aren't quite used to. And so what's great about the tap room is we also call it, it doubles as a classroom. We want people to come in there and try it. That perceived bitterness, it's just true to style. So it's not something that's meant to overwhelm, but it's just a classic European lager that just,
I think
it's
drinks
amazing.
easy. I mean, I think it's
fantastic.
easy to
It
drink.
really
I
is
love
good.
it.
That bite again too. I mean, all these beers go really well with food. I think it just kind of that crisp finish after a nice big chunk of Bulldog Burger. I think it's just perfect.
I'm thinking that Fertile Ground Pilsner and some onion rings with a side of comeback.
That's solid.
I'm all in.
Pilsner's one you can cook with, you could braise with, you could beer batter with. I mean, it's a versatile beer.
This is my favorite one that y'all done, and which one did you give me, Matty J? Y'all gave us before I get into the Mexican lager. The day that we did the show from Fertile Ground, that Jackson State
that was awesome.
We had so much fun.
Awesome.
I hope we'll do that again. Like March Madness and so on.
Now you're talking my language.
So, didn't you give me a coffee beer or something in a like that?
Let's see, what would we have had on tap by then?
This was when
There was
Dion
a
and
coffee.
Jackson
There was a
State-
coffee stout or something.
A coffee
yeah.
stout. So that was
Yeah.
something we brewed with some friends up the road. Had
delicious.
some roasted beans in it. just fantastic. You know, porters and stouts tend to lend themselves well towards using some adjuncts like coffee.
Yeah.
When you start using that roasted grain and the grist, it just really kind of marries flavors well. You know, when you're in the kitchen, there's certain ingredients that you cook with. They just, you know, it's like the Trinity. It's like they just go together.
Those coffee stouts, I always want one about 11 o'clock in the morning.
That's the best time for them.
Absolutely.
8 a.m. is good on game day.
That's okay on game day too. Yeah, or when I'm in an airport
That's true.
early. I don't know what the deal is because I tell Brian and Dink, there's something about if you don't have local, I go with the Guinness in the airport.
Guinness
in
is
the
a great
morning,
beer.
like 9 or 10.
People don't realize how few calories Guinness has.
I know. We talked about that. All right, let's continue on. Your Mexican lager, Fertile Ground Tap Takeover, Bulldog Burger, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. this afternoon tonight. Tell us about the Mexican lager. I think it's amazing.
Mexican lager is fantastic. Give you a brief history lesson. I mean, with the influx of people kind of coming over the pond back in the day, if you will, there was a huge kind of German immigration down into what is now Mexico, Austrian, excuse me. Let me make sure I'm correct. My history professor / brewer back there has got me on my P's and Q's. So what happened was they couldn't really grow a ton of grain down there. So they were getting grain from overseas or maybe the Eastern Seaboard at that time historically. I'm not sure if I'm accurate. I'll fact check with William later. But the problem was they had to kind of ration out their grain. So when they were brewing their beer, they had to find something else to subsidize that lack of volume. So what grew abundantly down there, and that was corn. And so corn was added in to subsidize that. And it adds a little bit of residual sweetness to that beer. And most Mexican lagers like that, that's what everybody's come to know and love. So mismo actually translates roughly to same. So our intent with naming that beer was, you know, it's very similar or the same to what you know as Mexican lager, but there's nothing, you know, really being made like that in Mississippi or really primarily the Southeast. So we saw a void that we really wanted to go after, and I think, again, William and Aaron nailed it.
Is this one of your more popular beers?
Very much so.
Yeah.
This might be a play in cans somewhere soon down the road.
Right.
Brian and the crew, they're excited at Cap City, possibly get a local-made Mexican lager out there, and we are too.
I could see that. That'll be on tap at Bulldog Burger in Ridgeland today. Mismo, I finally got it right. Mexican lager by the guys.
Nailed it.
At Fertile Ground Brewery in Bellhaven. And their tap room's amazing.
Thank you.
It really is. Matt and Aaron and William and the whole team, they've always got something going on. And it's just a lot of fun. I mean, there's dogs here, there's food trucks, there's, you know, all kinds of fun stuff going on. All right, the fourth one today at Bulldog Burger is, the one that you just referenced, but we want to know a little bit more about it again. The Forgotten Space IPA. And this is kind of it's not new to y'all, but it's a market launch for the beer.
Yep. Capital City, you know, just they're ready. And we kind of, we didn't want to get out of our skis. We didn't want to get some beer out in the market and run everybody out and get folks upset with us, which, you know, you can always come to the tap room, 800 Manship Street there in Bellhaven. But we really love this beer. We saw, you know, an opportunity for a core four. We wanted something easy for people to know and understand. That was the Pilsner. That was the lager. That was BTC, which is our pale ale. We all have a special place in our heart for Sierra Nevada. That's the OG.
Yeah.
And then it was an IPA. And IPA has been the leading SKU in the beer category, craft category for the last 20 years. So we'd be foolish not to acknowledge that and come out with one. So you've seen a lot go towards this juicy, hazy kind of IPA now, which tend to be a little bit sweeter. You're getting a lot of these fruit/juice notes off the hops. There's no fruit in most of these beers. They're starting to fruit some of these hazies now. But Forgotten Space, we do use some oat. Is there some flaked wheat in that too, in Forgotten Space? Just some white wheat in there. So what that does, it softens up that mouthfeel a little bit, takes away from some of that perceived bitterness that most people kind of, a West Coast IPA is notorious for having this kind of rip your tongue off, bitter finish. Some people love it.
Right.
And out in California, that's all they want. So we said, okay, how do we take this? Let's not kind of subdue it, but just make it a little bit more approachable. And I think that's what we did with the wheat. You still got some super juicy notes. We've got 5 different hops in that beer. It's fantastic, but you still have this super nice, not so subtle bitter finish. That's classic that when people drink IPA, they say, okay, I like that. So this is really fun. It's exciting. This is the first time anybody's going to be able to drink this beer outside of the tap room tonight at Bulldog Burger. So we're pumped. Ian was pumped. He's like, man, if y'all can make this happen. We had the 900 kegs on order. They landed. You should have seen us. I say us. I had to leave. But you should have seen the guys. They were brewing and offloading 900 kegs from a semi. And anyways, I think one pallet fell. But we made do with it. It's fine. But yeah, it's incredible. Just the response that we've seen there in the tap room, just everybody coming to the brewery. We're overwhelmed. We're humbled every day. I mean, we wake up loving our job every day. It's hard sometimes. People don't get to see under the hood, but man, when we get out in that tap room, people just make us feel like $1 million bucks, man. It's awesome. And it's incredible. And thank everybody so much, your listeners. I mean, and you guys for y'all support, Brian, Capital City, those folks. It's just been incredible. It really has.
So, Forgotten Space IPA and Mismo Mexican Lager, Fertile Ground Pilsner, and then the contours of Light Cherry Sour will all be on tap today at Bulldog Burger in Ridgeland. They've got amazing appetizers, burgers, the whole thing, sandwiches. And Matty J and Aaron and William and the crew are going to have a great time between 5 and 8 this afternoon. Plus, they're going to have stickers, glassware, shirts to pass out to guests and visit with you more about their beers. And then they want you to come down to the tap room at some point in Bellhaven. So I got to switch gears with you and ask you a question. Let's see where we are. Good. We got time. All right. So today, I didn't even know about this, Matty J. Today, Blake told me about this 9-dog challenge. I'd never heard of it. It's 9 hot dogs in 9 innings in a baseball game. And this guy in Starkville did it last night by the name of Brooks Bryant. Blake picked it up on Twitter, and we had him on the show earlier. Have you ever heard of it? And if so, have you ever done a 9-dog challenge at a baseball game?
Never heard of it. Never done it. Would love to do it. And our affection for hot dogs at the brewery is only surpassed by our love of beer. And we're actually considering getting a hot dog cart for the brewery. So, I mean,
think that'd be great.
We're all about glizzies, as they call them these days.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. That's I've been schooled on it. No? He's laughing. He's laughing.
Hey,
Yes.
it
That is
doesn't
accurate.
look like Aaron or William have ever seen a hot dog that they were scared of.
Nope. Well, the hot dog aficionado in both of them says, okay, what's the challenge? I mean, we talking about, the foot long. We talking about the kind of,
Right.
We're talking about the regular,
Regular, jumbo.
yeah.
Blake, what do you think? How would
I'm
you
listening.
describe what Brooks
It's just a regular
game day dog?
premium dog. Yeah, it's like 8 inches, maybe something like that.
Okay.
7 inches, something like that. Yeah.
And then the jumbo would be
It's almost 12, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, but that's not realistic. I mean, the 9-dog challenge has typically been one regular like ballpark hot dog, which is
Gotcha.
which is about
if you
8
sign
inches.
up for it at the ballpark, I think if you commit to the 9-dog challenge, they got to sell them to you for $1.
I
But
well,
I agree.
so that's the story.
Yeah.
The only time I did it was in college. I went to a Houston Astros game, and on Wednesdays they do dollar dog days because they're trying to get people in the park on
Sure.
a Wednesday afternoon. That's the only reason I was willing to try was because I wasn't going to have to spend
Unless we're talking about
$7.
specialty bun, relish, the whole 9, Chicago dog style. I mean, why would you pay more than $1 for a hot dog?
I agree. So you did it. Did you
Yeah, I did it.
but did you get
mean,
all 9?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I ate all 9
There's no
Beers?
doubt that these two guys
Beers?
could do
I
it.
didn't have 9 beers. I had like 6 or 7.
Okay.
And this was a while ago.
6
The
or
problem is you have to plan for the 8th and 9th because they don't sell beer after the 7th inning.
That's true.
That's right.
That's true.
So-
you got to plan ahead.
But that was Brooks's problem, as he said in the interview, is he went soda and water, and that's why he felt so bad.
Yeah, he did 2
There's
Sprites and
science.
water.
I want you to talk about this because you know the science behind beer. There is actual science that beer breaks down hot dog molecules, and that's why they go so well together.
Yeah, Matty J. That's
I don't really think there's an explanation to it. It's just one of those things that just makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, magic.
called
Yeah,
magic.
it's magic. I mean,
Magic.
it's one of those things. Beer goes well with anything. I mean, I think it breaks down everything else you put into your body so you can consume more beer. It's 90% water. It's good for you. Don't quote me on that.
Hey,
I was gonna say that's your mantra right there.
hey,
Responsible consumption.
Fertile
of
Ground
course.
beer. It's
Yeah,
good for you.
Good for you. I've been to a brewery. Their slogan was, let's see, and I've got the poster at my house. It says something about preventing heart attacks. Drink more beer.
I love
I'll
it.
have to find that and send that picture to you.
We're doing that this morning.
That's right. It's delicious, too.
Fertile Ground Brewery is in the house, and their tap room is in Bellhaven.
Yep, 800 Manship Street.
800 Manship. And they're around all these kind of wonderful local restaurants. You can order food and all that kind of good stuff. And like I said, they've just about got a theme for every day. Something new's happening at the brewery. You want to follow them on Instagram and Facebook. They're heavy out there telling you what's going on. They've got a cool, eclectic crowd, which is what they wanted.
Absolutely. We want everybody to get comfortable enough to just walk in, be curious. We'll curate the journey for you once you cross that threshold.
When was I was there a couple of weeks ago. Y'all were packed. I could not believe it. It was a random. It wasn't the World Cup. Those were several Saturdays. Y'all were crazy. I got that.
That was wild.
Yeah.
That was wild.
And we had some listeners there, which was a lot of fun. But something was going on. Maybe it was, I can't remember. All right. So let's switch gears again. It's National Chili Day.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Blake doesn't like chili.
We're going to have a serious debate on what true chili is from the Texans sitting over there. And you know what that debate is, don't you? To bean or not to bean.
Right. So I had some last weekend, and there was both meat, black beans, and corn in it. So like 1987 chili was terrible because it was just meat. And it was kind of clunky and stewy. But now, today, people do a lot more with it.
He's going to fight you for that.
Look, William.
He's biting his tongue over there.
What you have to understand is Bo's a guy who won't let you put sauce on anything, and he has to control it himself. So William and Bo come from very different backgrounds of how they consume food.
That's true. You a fan of chili? See,
love chili.
I like it if it's done well, right?
Okay.
And I
agree
also
with that.
like to make it into nachos. In other words, let's get some chips, a beer, and make it into that.
Bless the
Blake's
guy who
no
made
chili.
the scoop.
Right.
You know?
Now, how do you make fun of me? How can you not like at least some chili?
I have quality palate.
Wow. How about that?
No, do you like sloppy joes?
Heck no.
Do you like spaghetti?
Yeah, but I don't put a bunch of meat sauce on it.
Okay.
So just tomato sauce?
And a little bit of Parmesan, fresh grated Parmesan. Yeah. I'm a white sauce guy on pasta too, before I'm a red sauce guy.
I love both.
You ever had a combo? A red-white sauce combo?
I had red and white Franzia poured into a bucket and drank that one time.
Well,
Is that the same?
I'll tell you this: the lasagna at Taste in Starkville does both red and white sauce, and the fried pasta at Kessler Prime is an appetizer, and they do red and white sauce. So there is that.
Does he have red on the bottom and white on top?
Yes.
Yeah,
there is
man, that
magic
fried
there.
pasta is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
He pours our beer too. Love Scott.
Yes, he does. And all right, so real quick, we got to do something for March Madness. And we're gonna have some fun.
You know, I moved here 20 short years ago from North Carolina.
Okay.
Basketball is my time, and we're having a down year, but whatever. That's another time.
It's my favorite sporting event. Happy for you guys. Fertile Ground Tap Takeover today at 5 o'clock through 8 o'clock.
Be there. We're gonna have fun, buying beers, giving stuff away. Ian and the crew, they're giving away growlers.
I saw that.
That's awesome.
I know it.
I mean, growlers giveaway. Quick plug, real quick.
Yeah.
Huge crawfish bowl at the brewery Saturday.
All right,
Huge crawfish bowl. Starts at noon. Music, live music,
Fertile
all kinds of
Ground
fun
Brewery
stuff.
Tap Room in Bellhaven. But today, Bulldog Burger, Lake Harbor and Ridgeland at 5 o'clock. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Matty J, Aaron, and William. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Hit Apple Podcasts. Search Out of Bounds with Bo Bounds if you missed anything.